Shalom, 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 man. Welcome back, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a good start to your Sabbath day today. Hope it gives you the rest that you need to propel you into next week. We want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We do so by way of His only begotten Son, who is an instrument of salvation for the nation, right? The firstborn of every creation, right? To whom the Most High created the worlds and us, who is an everlasting Father to us, but not the Most High Father to us, right? Today's lesson, it will be entitled, What Will It Look Like? What will it look like, right? Before I see started, man, I want to go ahead and dispatch some holy angels, man. Um, Let the Most High know we're about to get started, so He can place on our tongues what He wants us to say. We're gonna play the blowing of the shofar by Brother Obadiah. Hopefully, you guys can hear this. Oh my Lord, where is it? That's crazy, dog. Man, that was a mighty Brother Obadiah blowing the shofar. As you can see, we got Obadiah on the screen with us today. We got Brother Azrael with us today. Um, we got Brother Baruch in the chat scribing, man. He's gonna be updating y'all with the precepts that we go over. Pay attention to the chat. If you have a question about what precept we're reading, right, we'll also have it on the screen too. But pay attention to the chat if you miss one or not, right? We'll go ahead and get started, man. I ain't got no I ain't got no reels or videos for you guys today. Um, Shabbat shalom to the sister in the chat. I don't really got any videos or anything like that, man. So it's gonna be straight Bible today, but it should be. What will it look like? Is the title of the lesson today, and the backstory to that is the end of it all, the conclusion of it all, right? The kingdom of the Lord, the land of the Lord. What will that all look like? What in prophecy, what in wrapping up prophecy, what would that look like, right? So we'll dive into it a little bit. Before we go, I'm gonna put up this precept right here, Mark 7:6, and I really just want you to read, uh, really, to the first. I'll highlight it, man. I'll highlight, right? I want you to read up into that point right there. You can start at the beginning, but I want you to read up into that point right there. All right. Mark 7:6. Brother Obadiah, can you bring us in?
Mark 7:6. He answered and said unto them, Well hath Isaiah or Isaiah, excuse me, prophesied.
Right, man. Right. And you could, and, it's not, I'm not trying to be deceptive or anything by not reading the rest of the precept, but this is the point I wanted to hone in on. It says, Well has Isaiah or Isaiah prophesied. And one thing I want to point out is the fact that this is, right, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ, who we see as our Lord and Savior, the instrument of our salvation, saying this. That's what happens when it's red letter. And he says, Well has Isaiah prophesied. One reason when we're talking about prophecy and end times and stuff like that, I like to go to the book of Isaiah because his prophecies were still coming to pass around the time where Christ was walking the earth, right? Now, a lot of times you go to other prophets and people, it's a toss up. Is it talking about back then? Is it talking about in the future? Is it dual prophecy? But a lot of times in Isaiah, man, it's being referred to as end time stuff, right? Even though he was prophesying back then, he was still prophesying about end time stuff. And we see that established in the teachings of Christ, as Christ often went to the book of Isaiah, right? Went to Isaiah a lot. He said that his favorite prophet was John the Baptist, and there was none greater. But I would assume that the second biggest prophet to Christ was the prophet Isaiah. right? So we're going to be diving into what Isaiah has planned for the future today, right? So we're going to be going through a few of Isaiah's prophecies, right? Just to show what it will look like. I'm going to start off with the banger. We're not going to waste no time. Going to jump straight into it. We're going to start off with the banger. And Isaiah 14 is one of my favorite precepts when talking about. So, we often get hit with the question on the street. So what's y'all's end goal? Like what's all this supposed to amount to, right? What's it gonna look like? We get this question a lot because people are confused of what we're waiting for and what we're looking for, right? And Isaiah 14, man, is gonna let you know for the most part, right? And it's very cut straight to the point. It's cut and dry. It's black and white, right? So it's Isaiah 14, starting from the top. Go ahead, brother Azrael. You on mute.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, starting at verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Right, man. So off rip, man. What is it looking like? He's gonna have mercy on Jacob. Why is he saying he's gonna have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel? He's gonna have mercy on Jacob because Jacob is the one right now where his chosen people are the ones right now that need mercy. Why? Because they've gone off and they're being punished. But he's saying he's gonna show mercy to them, right? Bring them out of their punishment. And he's gonna choose them again, right? And what he's going to do, he's going to set them in their own land. Why is he saying that? Because obviously Jacob or Israel is not in their own land right now. They're dispersed, right? And we can see this all throughout scripture, right? So it's tying everything in. And it's letting you know also what time he's talking about. The time where his people are going to be at the bottom, the time where his people are going to be scattered into the four corners of the earth, right? And this is talking about a time which to come. It says, and the strangers shall be joined with them, right? And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. When it's talking about the strangers here, it's talking about the non-Israelites will be joined with them, and they're gonna cleave unto the house of Jacob, right? They're gonna stick close, right? They're gonna seek out Jacob and adhere to everything Jacob has to offer, has to say, right? Verse number 2.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Right. This is one of my favorite verses in the Bible because it makes everything come to life, man. At the end of the day, this the whole thing is about restoration, right? And a role reversal. It says, and the people shall take them. We're going to take these strangers and bring them to the place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, right? I just want to make emphasis right here, man. It says servants and handmaids. It doesn't really say slaves here, right? One thing I want people to understand when we're talking about what will it look like, you got to get your mind out of the gutter when it comes to the idea of being subject or being in servitude, right? We're also often traumatized by words like slave and master and all this stuff from the way that our oppressors handle it. But when we handle it, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be in righteousness, right? And we're going to go through that a little bit today, right? It's not going to be it's not going to be. I would go out on a limb to say it's not going to be scary for the strangers that cleave and that want to get down, right? It's not going to be scary for them. You know what I'm saying? Will it be scary from some strangers that don't want to give it a program? Of course, right? But the ones that actually make it and cleave, bro, it's not gonna be scary for them. Are they gonna have to be subject? Yes, but it's not gonna be scary, right? There's not gonna be too much terror going on, right? And they shall take them captives who captives they were. So it's really a role reversal here, and they shall rule over their oppressors, right? And so the Most High is restoring them, and he's putting them over their oppressors. For the longest time, they've been underneath them, and now he's putting them above them. What is that going to look like, though? Right? What is that going to look like? You can read verse 3 real quick. We'll stop at verse 3 on this chapter.
Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
Right, man. And this is going into really the gospel, right? And with the gospel, you can find the gospel in Isaiah as well, right? But it's going into the gospel. He's giving us rest from our sorrow, right? And the bondage that we was made to serve, to free the captives, all that good stuff. The gospel is what we're waiting on, essentially, right? Go ahead, brother Obadiah. You had something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, because we were made to be a light to the world, right? We was made to be or to show the other nations how to live righteously according to the law. So when we get in rulership and dominion, if you have a heathen or a nation that's being submissive, that's keeping the law, there's no need to punish them. You know what I'm saying? I used to have that mindset, like, we're gonna pop, we're gonna have a whip, pop, pop, but we're gonna be hitting them for no reason. But it's like it ain't gonna be no point if a heathen truly want to serve you. They're like, okay, I want to serve your God, or I want to submit to your God. There's no need to punish, like be beating on them or hitting them. It ain't no point because they being submissive to your God.
Right, man. And
Go ahead.
that's the whole point, man. The whole point is, we often mention it like this, man. We want to be the teacher's pets, right? When you in class, when you have a teacher's pet, the teacher's pet, man, he or she gets called on by the teacher, for various reasons. Maybe the teacher has to step out to the bathroom and call the teacher's pet. Hey, let me know who acts up, this, that, and the third. Hey, carry on the lesson while I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? That's who we are to the Most High. But it wasn't for the teacher's pet to start beating the other classmates and stuff like that, right? The brother was saying, like, hey, if strangers want to take hold and serve our God, that's the whole point of it. Why wouldn't we want people to serve our God if we're saying our God is this great, powerful, loving God? You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at that, it's almost like, and a lot of people, they get big headed, they get pompous, and they want to assume that authority. And the only thing they're focused on is beating the heck out of strangers or people that don't look like them, right? And I would say, like, man, that in its essence, it's kind of asinine, because, like, if they're doing what they're supposed to do, you only supposed to ridicule somebody, condemn somebody, or correct somebody when they're not doing the right thing. If they're doing the right thing, there's no reason to chastise them. That's why the Bible goes into saying, hey, don't vex these people, man, especially if they're not even vexing you, right? Now we see where they started vexing us, and the Most High told us to do what we had to do against them. But even at the time where he says, don't vex them, for you were once a stranger too, right? Is at that time they hadn't even done anything to us. That's why he was telling us not to vex them, right? It's like this, for instance, you got two pet puppies, right? And one is a chocolate lab, and one is a yellow lab, right? You treat the chocolate lab good because he looked like you, but and both of them are good dogs. Both of them listen, right? Both of them, when you tell them to sit, they sit. When you tell them to come here, they come here. But for some reason, you treat the chocolate lab good, right? Because he's brown, he looks like you. And in the yellow lab, he kind of look like an Edomite, or a Caucasian. You beating the hell out of him just because he a yellow lab, but he's doing everything you ask him to do, right? And it's the same principle, man. The sole principle of it all, right? You go to the scripture. I'm not gonna pull it up, but you go to the scripture where it says, neither did he choose us because we were more in number, or we were mightier, but he chose us because it was calling to his election and his purpose and the promise that he gave to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, right? That's why he chose you. He chose you to be the teacher's pet, the standard in the earth, but it had nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And so when you take that, you take it down to the little minute points of life. I didn't choose to make me an Israelite, right? I didn't choose to put my soul in this body. It just happened that way, and I'm thankful for it. But at the same time, we can't use that to go super crazy on other people, because at the end of the day, they didn't have a choice in who was putting their soul in their body either. You know what I'm saying? But as long as they doing what they're supposed to do, which is adhering to the word of God, which is to fall in line with the will of the Most High, right? Then they should be able to seek peace from that as well, is what I'm saying. no, they shouldn't be able to be seeking they shouldn't have there should be we talked about this. There should be a reward for following the will of God, right? It don't matter who you are, what you look like. If you follow the will of God, there should be a reward, right? And that reward should be peace. You shouldn't be following the will of God and you still getting your back broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make no sense. You had something to say, Brother Obadiah?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, that don't make us no different than the so-called white slave masters that were beating on us for no reason in the cotton fields. You know, they'll just beat on us because they wanted to. They'll take our women because they wanted to. You know, they disrespected us like so crazy. So if we do that, if we end up in our kingdom do the same thing, how they did it, how they ran it, we know different than them. You know, we know different than them, but we're gonna run it. It's gonna be in righteousness. You know, you obey our God. We don't got no problem. And they should wanna serve us and serve the Most High, right? They shouldn't be like, you know, because back in slavery, it was some slave rebellions because the white men were treating us so wrongly in slavery. So our people got tired of it, and that's how you had like Nat Turner, and you know they started going on killing all these slave masters because of how we was getting treated. But we should run the kingdom of peace to like people will want to serve. They'll want to be in the fields and bringing us watermelon and clean our house up, and you know what I'm saying, getting everything prepared and the hard labor and stuff. They should want to do that stuff.
Right. Hey, man, and you know the difference is gonna lie within the law, statutes, and commandments. What I mean by that is that when we were in their captivity, when they had us under their thumb, right, the rules were not the same. In our kingdom, the rules apply to everybody, right? The same rules we're gonna be given to the heathen, we're gonna have to abide by them too, right? I can't, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, back then, you know what I'm saying, it was pretty much lawful for a white man to rape a black woman. What we're saying is it's not lawful for us to rape your woman, and it's not lawful for you to rape our woman. You see what I'm saying? So when all the rules apply, we're just enforcing it, right? We're gonna be acting as like the policia. You see what I'm saying? But in righteousness, right? You know,
Who are?
the police, the coppers, man.
Police.
Oh,
And so,
okay, you said
and
in
so,
Spanish.
and so when you look at it, when you look at it though, man, we're just going to be the enforcers of it, but we're gonna have to keep it too. That's what's gonna draw the peace and the tranquility amongst everybody, because there's not gonna be no hypocrisy, right? You're not gonna stir up strife in your servants because you doing some crazy stuff that they can't do, right? You know what I'm saying? Because everything that you're gonna be telling them to do, you're gonna be having to do yourself, right? And now, of course, we understand that there's laws for particularly for servants and stuff like that and all of that. We understand that, but at the crux of it all, especially morally, we're all going to be bound by the same covenant, by the same law, statutes, and commandments. You see what I'm saying?
Man. Hey, and another parallel would be a player, right? You know that this coach gets to the championship every year. He's a hard coach. You know, he makes his team work out very hard. He may have favorite players on the team already, but you want to go play for that coach because you want that championship, and you know he has a history of getting them, right? The nations are going to look at us like, oh, we got the keys to the championship. They may know that, you know, we're a strict people and we play by the book and you got to work hard, but they're going to be willing to work hard, right? They're going to be willing to work for their coach. They're not going to be, you know, talking behind their coach's back and trying to get to the transfer portal to go. They're going to stay with that coach no matter all the hardship or all the hard work. They're gonna want to be under that coach because they know that coach is taking them to the kingdom. That's how these other nations are gonna view us, man. They're gonna.
No, I was gonna say that's a good parallel, man. Just thinking about it, it sparked a similar parallel in my mind, man. When you look at it, you look at a team, especially like a college team, right? Your Israelites would be like your the players that are on scholarship that got recruited,
started
right? It's starting five, you know what I'm saying? On football teams, you started, you know what I'm saying? But everybody that has a full ride to go there to play, right? That was recruited, that was gathered together, right? By the staff, those are your Israelites. And the walk-ons would be the heathen or the other nations or the strangers, right? And oftentimes, man, when you see strangers or the walk-ons on a team, they just happy to be there. They happy to go where the team go. They happy in warm-ups. They on the bench. You know what I'm saying? When they get a chance to get in, right? They're ecstatic, even if it's the last 5 seconds of the game, right? You see what I'm saying? It's gonna be the same exact parallel, man. That's all it is. But we're still on the same team. Why am I saying we're on the same team? Because we're still playing for the Most High. All of us. We all have our roles to play for the Most High. Go ahead.
And you know, them starters, man, and people that's on scholarship, they happy for them when they get in the game. But at the same time, they know what? They know that they're not on the same level still. They're like, hey, you know, this person really, they just here to boost the GPA, or this person they walk on, they just filled the roster. They still have that aura about them, like, I know I'm miles ahead of this dude. I know I'm miles ahead of this girl.
But there's respect there between both parties to the point where a good walk-ons, right? Good walk-ons, they sometimes they assume the roles of the water boy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? The starters on the bench sweating, tired. He getting a water bottle for he a player too now, but he getting a water bottle for the guy on scholarship. You need a towel? Good job out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's gonna look like. But understand, even in that aspect, they say a team is only as good as its players, right? Not just the players on the court, but the players on the bench too. The players on the bench, if you got if you got a team, man, and you know there's so much envy and hatred for the people on the bench, you can sense that, right? And that's not conducive either. That's why I said, man, like the ones that are going to cleave, the ones that are going to want to be there, it's going to be peace for everybody, right? Them walk-ons, when they get their chance, man, when they just on the team, just you know, they got an opportunity and whatnot, you know, just to experience the college life as a college athlete, they're happy as heck, man. That they'll tell their kids, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the strangers will be in that day.
I got a chance to play with Michael Jordan in college. I got a chance to play with John Wall in college. Nobody knows their name, but
Right.
they got to be with the Israelites. They got to be at the championship in the kingdom. They just happy.
Right, man. And look, and when you win, everybody gets rings, bro. Everybody gets rings, bro. And guess what? The strangers, they gonna go where the scholarship players go. They get to tag along. They might be in the back of the bus.
For the managers.
You know what I'm saying? They might be in the background. You know, when you holding up the championship trophy, all the good players in the front and the bad players in the back, but they still got a smile on their face though, right? Because we in that day we'll all be there for the same purpose. We'll all be playing for the same team at that point.
Right? Hey, it's kind of like when you have like a celebrity, right? Just say you see a celebrity and the fans be around, the people be around, and they just want to, you know, hug him and be around, take a picture with him and stuff like that. That's the type of state we gonna be back in. You know, when we back on rulership, we back in power and have dominion. We gonna have that type of status to where, you know, people gonna respect us, right? They gonna respect us. Oh, go ahead, King.
No, I was saying that's a mighty point. And today, man, I think it's fallen away from that. But what they tell you is if you're gonna be an actor or a famous athlete or whatever, right? One thing they tell you is that you signed up to be something that you didn't even realize, and that's a role model, right? And a lot of athletes and celebrities will be like, "Hey, man, I ain't no role model, man." Hey, sorry, not sorry, bro. When you're in the public eye, you have now became a role model, whether you want to believe it, like it or not. And that's the same thing for the Israelites, like the brother was pointing out. We are going to be role models, bro. We are supposed to be role models. They should see what we do. It's like they see like LeBron James and they want to dunk like LeBron. They see Steph, they want to shoot like Steph, right? They see Allen Iverson, they want to cross over like Steph. Allen Iverson. They see Kobe Bryant. It's 3, 2, 1, right? They want to see that, right? It's the same thing for the Israelites. They're gonna be like, and I want to read the scriptures like that, brother Obadiah, right? I want to get into prophecy like that, brother Azrael, right? Because we're supposed to be the standard, we're supposed to be role models. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it goes to the point I was gonna make. A lot of times when you look at that college dynamic too, you may have a walk-on. Guess what? His whole family is supporting the team now. His little brothers, they want to be on the bench, even though he don't get no playing time. His little brothers, they love the star players too. They in the stands rooting for the star players. You know what I'm saying? For example, we watched the high school game on Friday. The high school team had no white players on it, but they had white people in the stands cheering for the team, man. That's how it's gonna be. And you're gonna see these other nations, right? These other nations saying, "Oh, that's King David. Oh, look at so and so. Wow, man, look at his locks, man. I wish I could grow locks." They're gonna be admiring us, man. They're gonna be in awe of us. We're gonna be like gods unto them, like what the Bible said. So it's not gonna be a need to really go crazy on them when it comes to violence, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna want to be there. They're gonna want to be underneath us, man. So kind of.
And you gonna want them there too. Go ahead.
I had a quick point. That's just like I was saying, that's just like you have a celebrity, right? And the fans want to come up and take a picture because they look up to him. And every time a fan want to come up and take a picture, he beating them up. Back up. No. That's the same thing in the kingdom. Like a heathen want to come up, may want to, hey, can I take a picture? Can I get your autograph, whatever? And you just beat them up. No, yeah, you got the whip hitting him. I'm like, what's going on, man?
To that point, man, I want you to ask yourself something, man, right? And just hear me out, man, right? Because I know how we feel about this situation. When we talk about spiritual Israel and stuff like that, we know there's no such thing. But at the same time, we should be flattered that they would want to be Israelites. Okay, so now our approach is, you want to be a spiritual Israel, you want to be a spiritual Israelite. Well, this is what you got to do to be an Israelite. You got to keep these law, statutes, commandments. If you can't keep these, you can't even be a spiritual Israelite, right? You can't want to be like us and not do what we do. Same thing for these people, these fans, right? They don't. It is crazy. You think Stephen Curry get mad every time he look up into the crowd and see a little white kid with his jersey on and say, "I want to be like Stephen Curry"? No, he don't, man. What he's hoping is that he's inspiring them to do what he's done, get in the gym, put up them shots. So I know a lot of times it's asinine for somebody to say they spiritual Israel. I understand that, but take it as flattery. Take it as an opportunity to teach them what it means to be an Israelite. Oh, this is what you want to embark on. It's the jersey you want to put on, right? I'm gonna tell you what we do behind closed doors, where no man sees, right? You ain't see me shooting in the gym. I'm gonna show you what it was like shooting in the gym, right? But you don't see LeBron James getting mad every single time he see a little white kid in his King James jersey, man. He don't go up to him and pull it off. You don't deserve this, right? What I'm trying to say is we got to switch our approach a little. And, here at the Hopeful Elect, we always kind of had this mindset, but we got to switch our approach up and let these other people know that, hey, look, man, if you want to serve the Most High God, that's cool. This is how you do it, right? There's still a right and a wrong way to do it, but this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even saying go out and try to find these people, because what happens is they're going to come to you, right? We go to our people, but they're going to come to us, man, naturally.
Prophecy.
I hate to keep going on this parallel, but keep in mind, like Anthony Edwards or LeBron James, right? They have to go out in our communities to reach our people. They got to. They're on such a big stage that our people can't afford to come support them like that. But who comes to support them? All these other nations. So that when they in the tunnel, these other fans of other nations, they got their little kids. They taking pictures, autographs. You know what I'm saying? They taking off their sweatbands, giving it to them and stuff. They giving the crumbs to them. They're giving the crumbs to them. That's the crumbs, man. And the people are ecstatic. He gave me his headband. He gave me. Those are crumbs, right? There's no point in being mad that that they're getting crumbs. You know what I'm saying? They get the crumbs from the master's table. But like the brother said, it goes into play. Like we have to go to our people, because our people, man, spiritually, they don't have the spiritual appetite that we do, so we have to bring that spiritual appetite to them, right? But at the same time, there's some people that admire what we do. You see the apologists, you see all these people that want to come and talk to us that's not our people, and they feel like, you know, the conversation was good or whatever. They get some of the crumbs, right? But at the end of the day, hey, you know what I'm saying? The crumbs is only a little bit. We get the kingdom. And like the brother Denal said, you should be flattered that they want to be around you and they want to be you.
Right. And at the end of the day, man, you got he's man, the Bible's so cold. He's written precepts saying like, hey, when you make it, don't vex a stranger, for you once was a stranger in Egypt, right? He's letting you know, man, remember yourself when you was trying to get it out the mud. You know, when you're an athlete, you might have started as that player at the end of the bench, the freshman that don't get no playing time by your senior year. You know what I'm saying? You that guy, you him. What he's saying is don't forget when you was that freshman on the bench, right? Don't forget when you was low. And that's all he's saying to us, man. Hey, don't forget when you was low, when you had to get out the mud. I know you know you him now. Matter of fact, the Most High has made you him. The coach has called you up. But don't remember when that coach had you at the end of the bench too, right? That same coach you playing for that made you him, that's giving you all that tick, all that playing time. Before you was here, that same coach had you at the end of the bench in full sweats. Didn't take not one thing off when the game came, right? You got off the bus in full sweats, right? In your slides. You went the whole game in sweats and slides. And at the end of the game, you was in sweats and slides. Didn't even have to take a shower. You know what I'm saying? You went straight home, got on the video game, went straight to bed. Didn't even have to take a shower. You see what I'm saying? Don't forget when you was in that position, right? That's all he's saying. So that's how you should treat people. How you should treat people is knowing that you was once in their shoes, right? And we're gonna get into that. This is Isaiah chapter 2, right? Still in the book of Isaiah, still in prophecies of Isaiah. That was Isaiah 14. Now we in Isaiah chapter 2. I think it's back on Obadiah. I'm not sure.
Starting at verse 1.
Yeah, you can.
Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Right.
And it shall come to pass in the last days that the last days.
In the what?
Last days.
Isaiah often prophesies about the last days. Keep reading.
That the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it.
It says that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established. He's going to take that light and he's going to put it on the hill for the world to see, right? It's often spoken about in the New Testament through parables, right? Verse number 3.
And many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of God, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Right. They will come up to you, man. They're going to come up to us, man. So everybody is always worried about, man, we're going to go hunt them down and we're going to put them in chains and we're going to drag them with us. Right. Man, the thing that we're going to uphold is going to be so sweet, so good. The light that we have in the darkness is going to be so appealing that they're going to come to us, man. Just like we just went over, right? You talk about these athletes, right? These spectators, they spend thousands of dollars to come see these folks play, right? They come from all parts, all over the world, just to come see these folks play. That's how it's gonna be in the last days. They're gonna come from all over the world, right? To witness what we have to offer. And what we have to offer is the word of God, the will of God, right? Out of Jerusalem, out of Zion, right? Read verse 4 for me.
Verse 4. He shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords in the plowshares and their spears in the pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Right, man. When they behold the light that we have, right? Something in us is gonna make them want to take their pruning hooks, right? And their swords, and they're gonna turn them into plowshares. You know what I'm saying? You know, you ever run up on, you seen something like a video or a movie, they run up on somebody with something, and when they finally they turn around and, you know, they might have like a broom in their hand and they about to go upside somebody's head. The person turn around and they kind of just sweeping. That's what's going to happen, man. They're going to, you know, which once was made for our bad, right? They're going to make it into our good, right? And so you won't have to worry about that terror anymore, man. You're gonna see a shift in our oppressors, and they're gonna naturally want to serve us because they understand who we represent. They're not gonna want to serve us because of us, right? We understand that they probably hate the idea of us, but they're gonna serve us because of who we represent, and that's the Most High. Remember, we are the standard of the earth. We are the Lord's teacher's pet, right? Another book in Isaiah, man. Let's go to Isaiah 56, right? Isaiah, man, he with these prophecies. If you want to know what it's gonna look like in the end times, go to Isaiah, man. Read Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah 56.
Isaiah 56 and 6. Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh the hold of my covenant. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer.
Make them what?
Make them joyful.
Make them terrorized.
And he said, I'll make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. For mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people.
Right, man. That's what we try to tell people all the time, man. You got people on our side that, think that we're gonna be a terror unto them. You got people on their side that are afraid. And that's really what it is. When we tell them what's gonna be going down and all that stuff, and they're rejecting it, it's really because they're afraid of what they think we might do to them, not realizing that, hey, man, if you just buy into the system, the Most High said he was gonna make you what? Make them what? Joyful. Right? We're gonna get into the precept to that, right? But at the end of the day, y'all gotta understand, man, when he says in the end, it's gonna be no more mourning, there's not gonna be no more crying. That just doesn't apply to us, man. That applies to the whole earth, man.
Hey, Salakia, too, for an example, man, if you knew that somebody could help you out, why wouldn't you go? Everybody's gonna go to that person that can help them out. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If they know that they can get their prayers answered by going to the Israelites, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go to the house of, the house of God, which is the house of Israel, the house of Judah. Just much like us today. If one of us get an illness or a sickness, if we got to go to a white doctor, a lot of us, we get in the car going to a white doctor, right? And some of us, we're not even thinking twice about it. You know what I'm saying? We just going because we know that we can get our answers there, or we can get our help there, or whatever it may be, so called, right? So it's the same thing. They're gonna come to us, and we're gonna accept them because God wants everybody on the earth to ask at His mouth, not anybody else's mouth, gods or religions. Khan.
Go ahead.
Especially when they been seeing they nations of people, they're getting judged for their wickedness. That's definitely gonna make them want to, kind of like Rahab, man. When she was seeing like how was going on with her people, and she was like, heck no, I don't want that to happen to me. I tell you, I'll hide y'all, right? Just don't let this happen to me. So that's gonna be a lot. That's what's gonna happen to a lot of these heathens as well too. They're gonna want to get down with the system because they not gonna want to die, right? They ain't gonna want to get spoiled in the they see their people going through that happened to them.
And that spirit that they're gonna have is a spirit that lets them feel like they're forever indebted, right? On their best behavior. Think about if a man cheats on a woman, or if a woman cheats on a man, right? And the counterpart takes them back, right? The counterpart takes them back and still is loyal to them and everything. Typically what happens is the person that cheated, they feel forever indebted to that person, man. You know what I'm saying? They feel forever indebted. They on their P's and Q's. They're grateful for the opportunity to still be with that person. It's gonna be the same way for the strangers, man. When they take a hold and they see that we're not gonna beat the hell out of them, right? They're gonna feel forever indebted. They're gonna feel like, man, how we just want to make it up to you, man. We just want to make it up to you. I think there was a precept. We're gonna get into it. I ain't even gonna spoil it. Is it? But that's how it's gonna be, man. Forever, they're gonna feel forever indebted. This is Isaiah 56. We're gonna keep going in the books of Isaiah, man. Again, if you want to know what it's gonna look like in the end, man, go read the whole book of Isaiah, man. You'll find out quickly. Isaiah 60:3, right? We're gonna read verse 3 and then we're gonna jump down. So this is Isaiah 60:3.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 16, verse 3. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising.
Right. This is what it's gonna look like, man. Especially we read Isaiah 14 first. It says that they're gonna cleave to us, they're gonna come to us and all of that stuff. This is what it's gonna look like. The Gentiles shall come to thy light. There's gonna be darkness everywhere, and they're gonna see us as a light. And kings shall bring of the rising, right? Just saying that they're gonna come to us, right? We're gonna start at verse number 9, Isaiah 60:9.
Isaiah 60:9. Surely
And for the chat, Salaki, for the chat, we're gonna go Isaiah 60:9 through 12, right? Right.
Khan shall wait for me. You can hear me?
Yeah.
And the ships of Tarshish furs to bring down sons from far, their silver and their gold with them unto the name of the Lord thy God and the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified thee.
All right.
Verse 10. And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote them, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Right, man. The Most High is gonna have mercy on them, man. Right, and it might not seem fair. He's saying, "For in my wrath I smote thee," right? But in my favor have I had mercy on thee, right? And so, well, Salaki, this is talking about having mercy on us still, right? like he try to be a little too nice, but he's talking about that the mercy that he's gonna show us is that these people, they're gonna come to us, man. These strangers are gonna build up our walls again. Why do the strangers gotta build up our walls? Because they're the ones who destroyed it, man. You ever heard of the term, you break it, you buy it? If you ever have any kids and they got the toys everywhere, you're like, hey man, y'all clean this up, right? It's not gonna be on us, man. They think a lot of people think that we're gonna make them do this because life is just unfair. No, man, you gotta right your wrongs.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of other nations may read this and be like, when we read and when we try to break it down, they'll be like, nah, that's not the case. God doesn't believe in that, and blah blah blah, and there's equality with God. There's no respect to person. No, just like the brother Denal said, he's a righteous judge, man. A righteous judge is going to give a righteous sentence. If, like he said, if you the one that tore down the walls and set the city on fire, you're going to have to be the one to build it back up and replenish everything that was stolen. That's only right. That's not demonic. That's not favoritism. That's not even favoritism, bro. That's just righting your wrongs, right? We shouldn't have to make you do something that you know is wrong. Like, even to this day, you ask other nations what they did to our people. It could be Africans, it could be Caucasians, it could be Hispanics. You ask them, you know, what your forefathers did to our people, is that's wrong? They'll be like, yeah, that's wrong. You ask them what we should do about it. They don't know what they claim. They don't know what we should do about it. Just, you know, learn from it and move on. How about you right your wrongs? You know what y'all should do about it. You can right your wrongs.
And so it's funny, man, because, you know, we talked about that wormhole to get us out of our reality of living in these curses, of being affected by these curses to an extent, right? Giving us favor with the Most High in our land of captivity. A lot of heathens don't know, man. It probably could operate the same way for you, but what happens is, man, you know, it's hard for you to do, y'all. We're at the point right now to start righting your wrongs. It's going to affect your life, right? Because what's that going to look like? Oh, all these hundreds of acres that we have, I'm gonna have to start giving it back. You think they really want to do that? You think they're really going to do that? Now, I done seen a few Edomites do that. Now, I done met a few black men that be like, yeah, I used to pretty much be a slave for him, and when he died, he gave me all his property. Now I own it all. Right? That's he should have did it while he was alive, but it's a start. Right? Go ahead, brother Obadiah.
Yeah, how many of these nations are going to get a land back to the native Indians? How many people going? A lot of people don't want to admit that happened. They don't want to admit that the slaughter of the native Indians, right? The Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, they don't want to admit those things happened. All these things were stolen from us. All our gold was stolen from us. They don't want to give it back. They don't want. Some of them, like you said, some of them don't mind, but a lot of them don't want to admit the truth because they know that they're gonna have to. They know that making it right is them having to give these things back and them getting punished for what they did to us. So they just try to sweep it under the rug and act like God don't care about that, right? Just forgive and forget about it.
Right, man. Right. But you break it, you buy it, man. You break it, you buy it. Isaiah 60:11. Next verse.
Isaiah 16:11. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, that their kings may be brought.
Right, man. The forces of the Gentiles, right? The good things that they've had, right? They're gonna be brought unto us. We're not gonna go and have to take it no more, like back in the day. We ain't gotta have to go and seize it and bring it back to it. They're gonna bring it to us. As a matter of fact, we're gonna leave our gates open so y'all can bring it to us, right? Make it easy for you. But they're gonna want to do this stuff though, man. They're gonna want to do this. Just like the walk on at the end of the bench, he's gonna want to go get you a water bottle when he sees you tired. You know what I'm saying? And he's happy to do so. Because whenever you score, he gonna clap too. All right. This is the last verse in Isaiah 60, verse 12.
Isaiah 60:12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
And that's what we tell people all the time, man. When we get to that point, everybody that's there is going to want to be there. Because the Most High, he's not gonna give him a chance to. Because if you don't want to do it, bro, you're gonna be utterly wasted. Is get down or lay down, right? You know what I'm saying? It's either you want to do this or you can make the decision to die right now. So there's the Game of Thrones, man. In the Game of Thrones, when old girl with the dragon was taking over, right? She was taking over. She was conquering nations and whatnot. Whenever she came into a city and she conquered a city, she would get the remains of the people, right? She would put them all in front of her and tell them, hey, you guys have a choice. You can live under my thumb, or you can choose to die right here. But you have to make a choice today, right? Some of them said, hey man, I'll just go with you, right? But a lot of them said, hey man, nah, man, we're not gonna choose to serve you. And what happened to them? She had her dragon right behind her and consumed them with fire, man. Because it was get down or lay down. Because in that day, man, when we move forward, we can't have any wicked thoughts, man. You let wicked thoughts enter into your nation, man. It's a recipe for disaster. You got one person on the bench that sowing discord, that's always envious, is always, man, he really don't deserve no playing time. It's gonna seep into the rest of the team. Now you got 2 players on the bench that feel that way. Now you got 3 players. Now nobody on the bench is clapping whenever you score. You see what I'm saying? And that's not the nation. That's not the kingdom that the Most High is trying to build. Everybody's got to be on the same page. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even with that Game of Thrones, man, if you watch it, she would put all of them in front of them and say, people, citizens of so and so, people of Mercia, people of blah blah blah. I've rescued you from your oppression. All I ask is that you bow fealty to me and serve me as your new queen. She was like, I will give you a better life. I would give you more money. I would give you more freedom. You will not be slaves. And a lot of them are just like our people. Hey, what you did to our king wasn't right. Our king has done right by our family, even though he's made us serve him or rigor. He's done right by our family for years. We've served him all our life. Well, we're not going to stand with you. We don't support you destroying our king. And they done sold out to the other side to where they literally, because somebody would be like, man, who would pass up everlasting life? Who would pass up the kingdom? It's gonna be people that sold out, man. and that were given over to reprobate minds, right? And they're gonna perish. They're not gonna be in that land, man. They're not
Right,
gonna be.
right, man. That's a good show, man. I think I might go back and rewatch it, man. There's so many things in there that they copy off of the Bible, man. Especially like in the book of Maccabees when they started warring with elephants and stuff like that, man. And you know the way that, yeah, man, yeah, man. I might have to go back and check that out. This is Proverbs 29:2.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
Right, man. And we also go over this, man. So when it says the people rejoice, man, we just got proof of it, right? It's not just talking about the Israelites. It's talking about everybody that's going to be on the earth. They're going to rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. That's what we're in right now. Wicked beareth ruling, and it's mourning right now, right? It's mourning, right? It's chaos. There's no real standard in the earth because the standard shifts every year. New laws are created every year, right? But one thing about the Most High is that his laws don't change. You get what you get, and people are soon gonna realize that his way is the best way, right? Cause the least confusion, right? That's standard. That doesn't contradict, right? And they're gonna realize that, and they're gonna understand that to be the light, and they're gonna say, man, if only we can if we can live by those laws, if those laws can govern us, because, hey, man, you know, as a human, I can't, you know, they'll be like, man, you know, I don't necessarily like that, but I understand why he said that, so I'm gonna follow it anyway, because it's better than what we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? It's better than what we've been doing. And so you'll see that, man, when the righteous are back in authority, the whole earth will rejoice, because it's not about the people, it's about the standard, and the standard comes from the word of God, right? The word of God, that man shall not live off of bread alone, right? And we'll see that eventually. Let's go to the Apocrypha real quick. This is a classic, man. It hasn't been brought out in ages. I haven't heard nobody bring it out in ages. We haven't brought it out in ages.
2nd Ezra chapter 6.
Yeah. It's a
We
classic.
haven't brought it out in a minute though.
Hey, man, when we first came into the truth, man, you used to see this on every lesson, man.
Yeah.
On every lesson. This is 2nd Ezra 9.
2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
That's all we're saying, man. What will it look like? It will look like a role reversal, right? It's kind of funny, right? They got the 6 and the 9 right here. The 9 looks like an upside down 6. You know what I'm saying? It's a role reversal. It's a switch happening, a switch taking place, man. Right? This is also a cut to y'all who say that the Arab man is Esau, because the Arab man not even running nothing, man. The Arab man is getting terrorized just like we're getting terrorized. But how he Esau? That's a story for another day, though. Right? We're gonna go to the book of Obadiah, not the brother on the screen, but the mighty prophet in the old times, right? Oh, the book of Obadiah, and we're gonna go chapter 1, verse 15. We're gonna read 15 through 17.
The book of Obadiah, chapter Obadiah 1 and 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
Right.
Verse 16, for as ye have drunk upon mine holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
Right.
17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
Right, we're going to take over their possessions. One thing I wanted to get at in verse 15 and verse 16, right? If you could read 15 one more time.
15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
Right. At the end of the day, man, what it's gonna look like is, you know, a lot of people use this to say that means we're gonna be raping y'all too. We're gonna be killing y'all for no reason. Right. A lot of people are looking forward to that for whatever reason, man. You know what I'm saying? All this is saying is that that role reversal is gonna come. They're gonna be subject to the curses, right? But it's gonna be the sensible curses, man. You gotta think of it with a grain of salt, man, with some wherewithal. It's saying that just like we're subject to them and that we got to go into them for food, water, and clothing, right? They're gonna be subject to us and they have to come to us for food, water, and clothing, right? We're gonna be the governors of the world, and we're gonna set the standards and everything. And you know, you can say we're kind of, I guess you could say we're gonna be the new oppressors in a sense, right? But like we have been saying this whole time, man, it's gonna be a good thing, you know. It's gonna be a good thing. They're gonna have to, you know, they might plant a vineyard that they don't get the fruit off of from time to time. You know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna be raping them and killing them for no reason and tying them to, you know, or putting them in, locking them in sheds and letting it burn on fire and all of that and hanging them on crosses and stuff like that. We ain't gonna be doing all of that, right? This is talking about uh in the in the economy of the kingdom, right? We're gonna be on top. They're gonna seek to us for everything, just like we have sought to them for everything, right? And then last precept I got, we're gonna end it off in Genesis 12:3. So when you look at that, man, it says that, man, they're gonna be drinking off the same cup that we drank from. It's just talking about subjugation, man. It's not talking about the wicked things that they've done to us that we're gonna do back to them, right? We still have a moral code to live by. So when you read that, read it with some wherewithal. And so I'm gonna end it with Genesis 12:3. This is really the principle that anybody, especially anybody that's not an Israelite or perceived to be an Israelite, stick to this principle and you'll be all right, right?
Genesis chapter 12 and verse 3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
Stick to this principle and you'll be all right, man. Right? You see something, you know, you see something going on that doesn't look too good, don't join in, right? And understand that the Most High, he honors his word. And so those that have blessed the Israelites, they will be blessed. Rahab was blessed, right? The woman of Canaan was blessed, right? Nebuchadnezzar was blessed for a time, right? Those that bless the Israelites, man, they will be blessed. But those that curse them will be cursed. Keep that in the back of your mind, whether you like it, believe it or not, right? This principle stands. And for Israelites, man, understand and know this, that there's some peace and some blessings that can be granted to other people outside of you, right? If they put everything in perspective. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But that's all I got. Any brothers got anything?
Man. You go ahead, Israel.
I was just saying, mighty lesson, man. You know what I'm saying? From time to time, we can let our imaginations take a hold of us when we read the Bible. But even like you just read in Obadiah 15, right? When you read 16 and 17, it tells you what it means by that return upon thine own head, right? And I know a lot of times, you know, when we let our imaginations take over, you know, it causes us to go to a place to where we can think the Bible said it, right? Because of what we read in the image that pops up in our head. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes that's literally our imagination. And sometimes, you know, we just have to be patient and wait for the Lord to establish everything in his own time. And so that we can, you know, hopefully see with our own eyes what it actually will look like. Right. So I know the title of this was What Will It Look Like? And we can get a good gist of what it looks like through the words of the Bible, but it's not going to be anything like actually being there in person. Right. So I say that to say, don't superimpose your imagination on the text. Read it for what it is, man, and go by that. And then let's, you know, pray and hope that we make it to the kingdom to see it in actuality become a mighty lesson.
You got something to say, brother Obadiah?
No, I was saying, man, yeah, definitely a mighty lesson, man. Definitely a mighty lesson. Just know that you know, it starts with us. You know what I'm saying? We the ones that the law was given to, and it's our job, you know, of course, to spread the word to our people. But like the brother said, you know, we not going to them; they come to us. A lot of times we be at camp, they come to us, and they trying to hear what we talking about, and we just, you know, just tell them what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they can serve our God. We ain't got no problem with you serving our God, man. So, yeah.
Man. Hope you guys were edified with that lesson, man. What will it look like? I added to the end, man, an Israelite POV, an Israelite point of view, right? What will it look like? Just read, man. Read your Bible. You can see what it looks like. I know we dealt with the book of Isaiah, man. Just highlighting the fact that Isaiah, man, had a lot of end time prophecy that people aren't aware of that have to come to pass. That hasn't happened yet. That have to come to pass. So always acknowledge that. Always remember those, that the Most High's word does not come back void. And then you know, you can always go to Revelation. Revelation got some more for you too. You know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna contradict anything, right? But we are the hopeful elect, man. Hope you guys were edified with this lesson. Hope you have a blessed and favored Shabbat. Hope you get the rest that you need. We give all honor and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We do so by way of his only begotten Son, who is an instrument of salvation for the nation, who also said, if you're not helping to gather, you're helping to scatter by default. So gather yourselves together, O nation not desired, so-called Israelites, to the four corners of the earth, so we can get the standard right, man. Start living right, repenting, right? So we can get up out of here. And we'll see you guys next time. We say shalom, shalom, and shalom.